if you are a passport bro or going to be a passport bro, and I just mean someone who wants to travel and maybe you want to date while you're out, Peru is a great first country to go to for beginners or people who it's their first time traveling, want to go to Latin America, want to potentially maybe meet some women, because
Hey, Jaime Woods, we here to travel and motivate. No curry, we just trying to keep our minds in a golden state. We answer to nobody but the Lord, we control our fate. Too many things to see just to sit in a hole and bake. We growing, ayy.
So I wanted to touch on really quick too, Peru, because I just got back from Lima. I was in Lima for a month. And in that month, and I want to cover a few different things because I know Lima's not really covered that much. And I noticed that when I was looking for YouTube videos on Lima, just as far as for dating, because I know that's important for
Austin did a decent
Austin
job.
Holloman did,
Yeah.
International did.
Yeah.
But in general, it's just not very much coverage. So from my experience in Lima, if we're talking about women, the women there are not going to be nothing close to Brazil or Colombia. They are more closer to their Indian ancestries, the Incas. So yeah, there's not a lot of pretty women, but I will say this, you can find them, and pretty women there. And this is just one of the good things I think about Peru. Is a lot of women come from a two-family household. A lot of them, the economy is much more stable. So more women are a little bit more independent. Not too much feminism, but definitely a little bit more independent. Like there would have been times where I would go on a date with a girl and she would come to meet me, and it would be maybe about a $15 Uber ride each way, and the girl would pay for it. Here in Colombia, you're not getting that. A girl ain't gonna pay no Uber or nothing that much to come see you. You're gonna have to go see her first or pay for her transportation. So that was one of the things I liked about Lima. Like I said, you can find them there. I did my final thoughts video on Lima and also dating in Lima, and I put some videos up of some of the girls that I went out with there. But as well, if you've been to Medellin or Colombia, you know women are extremely flaky. I think I went on 6 or 7 dates in Lima and zero flaked, which was like super refreshing to me that I didn't have to like triple book and all that. So definitely good thing there. Nightlife is very similar to how it is in the States, which one thing was pretty refreshing as well is like you can go out to a club and you actually can meet women like you would, ask someone to dance, meet them that way. Versus here in Colombia, that's just not the culture here. Everyone's, like I said, in their little groups. Safety wise, felt extremely safe, way more safer than here in Colombia. Not that I don't feel safe when I move around, but I'm just saying it felt an extra level more of safer, like, similar to you're in the US for some people, if they're considering Colombia dangerous. Other than that, I would say obviously food is amazing. It's that's pretty much what is kind of well known for. But definitely what I would recommend is if you are a passport bro or going to be a passport bro, and I just mean someone who wants to travel and maybe you want to date while you're out, Peru is a great first country to go to for beginners or people who it's their first time traveling, want to go to Latin America, want to potentially maybe meet some women, because if you're trying to learn Spanish or a little Spanish, their Spanish accent is very neutral. And I almost wish I would have went to Peru first to learn Spanish because it's super, super neutral. You can understand everything versus like here in Colombia, you have Costeñas, you have Venezuelans, you have Paisa,
crazy accents,
you have Rolos, you have a little bit of everything. So the accents change a lot versus in Peru. Everywhere you go, it's the same accent. So, and they articulate very well. They speak somewhat slowly. So you definitely can understand it. You don't have the scopolamine risk that you do here in Peru. So that's a great thing. And a big part of it's the men's fault. It's like you come here to Medellin or you come here to Colombia, and usually the guys that are mostly getting scopolamine are Europeaners. I mean, it's Americans too, but it's Europeans because their dating for them is super safe. You know, they go to other parts of Europe or whatever. They don't ever have to think about how they're moving. So they come here naive. They take women at face value. Oh, a girl wants to just come over and cook for you that you don't even know. Oh, she put scopolamine in your food, you know, or she put it in your drink or whatever.
Yeah.
It's like you have to move very differently. And for Europeans, you know, it's just not something they ever have to fathom when, you know, when traveling, you know. So in Peru, you don't have to worry about any of that. So it's definitely a great first country, or in Latin America, that I would recommend. That's got a little bit of similarity to the States as far as their nightlife, and they stay out very late. Their clubs are open till 6, and people will stay out till close to 6 too. Versus here in Medellin, it tends to be a little bit earlier.
So to comment about the Spanish stuff, just a quick little side note, I guess, on Spanish, because I'm currently going through this myself, not necessarily with the Spanish languages. I can speak it fluently, but in terms of Portuguese, I'm actually learning Portuguese at the moment. I have for a year now. So I would say I'm a little bit more advanced. But if you guys want to learn a new language and you're sick of Duolingo and all these little apps and stuff, book yourself a tutor. If you're really serious about it, book yourself a tutor. I usually use Preply. I don't know if you've heard of that app, Passport Graffiti, but I use Preply. You can get yourself a tutor for like maybe $5-10 a lesson.
Wow.
You can subscribe to them. It's like a subscription every month. It'll be only a couple bucks, maybe $40-50 a month for a tutor. If you're really traveling to these countries, you want to learn the language as quickly as possible, have the best experience possible, I recommend Preply. Don't do Duolingo. Duolingo is something that you might do in between the classes, but I think if you want to learn it as quickly as possible, go with Preply, man, and you book yourself like a good tutor there. But that's just a quick little side note that I've never actually talked about on my YouTube.
Yeah, those are definitely good advice and good options. I'm not 100% fluent in Spanish, but very conversational at this point. If you're not able to do the full immersion, which is always going to be much better, you're going to learn faster, definitely get a tutor, or, you know, something along those lines, take some classes. But obviously the most ideal thing is going to be if you can just get up and go to that country or place where you want to, you know, whatever language that is, learn it. For me, it was Spanish, because Spanish is spoken in a lot of parts of the world, versus Portuguese. You're very limited. You have
even Europe, it's Spanish is spoken
as well. But Portuguese, you got 𝐾𝐵, you got Brazil, you got Portugal, and you got a few places. It's like maybe 3 or 4 countries around Africa as well, besides 𝐾𝐵, that speaks Portuguese, but it's not as much as Spanish. So for me, Spanish was just more important. But if you do really master Spanish, you can get Portuguese, because the languages are very similar.
Well, you know, that's actually the reason why I'm learning it is, one, I'm very interested in Brazil and very interested in Portugal. Those are 2 countries I'm very interested in. And since I already speak Spanish, it makes most sense for me to go with Portugal as the 3rd language, because it'll be easier for me to pick up on. And it has, even though it has been a bit confusing. But yeah, I mean, you don't have to follow whatever I'm doing, generally speaking, that is. If you guys want to learn French, if you guys want to learn Italian, if you guys want to learn any language, definitely, you know, use Preply. It's a very good tool that I feel not enough people are talking about, you know. But I also do feel like another great way for you to learn the languages, I think you kind of hinted at it before, Passport Graffiti, but it's literally going to that country and just talking to locals. Just after a while, you're just going to pick up on things. And if you meet a girl out there that speaks both languages, she can kind of teach you Spanish. She could be your own personal tutor without you having to pay a dime, right? But if you're one of those people that, you know, because I know guys that are currently living in other countries that don't really go out as much. They kind of have like they're like kind of anxious to go out just because of the language barrier. If that's kind of the way you feel, I'd recommend Preply. Go with Preply, get a tutor, and it'll be very cheap. I only pay $40 for my tutor, and she's phenomenal. She goes above and beyond. I've learned so much through her. So it's an investment that if you're a traveler, I think it's worth it. 100% worth it. But yeah, Passport Graffiti. What other places have you been to?
So aside from Brazil and Colombia, I've been to Slovakia, I've been to Amsterdam, I've been to Spain, I've done Greece as well. Obviously I've done like Bahamas. I've done, there's been so many. Dominican Republic. Actually, my best friend here has a house about an hour away from Sosúa. So we frequent DR pretty frequently. So DR as well. Man, it's been so many. I can't remember them all. What else? I said Amsterdam, Spain, Sweden. I've been to Sweden as well. I'm pretty sure there's more. I'm just not remembering them off the top of my head right now because it's been a while since I've been back to Europe.
Okay, so if you were to rank your top 3 countries, what would they be?
And I've been asked this question before. It's extremely hard for me personally because I genuinely love certain or things about every country that I go to, and I have not found one yet. Besides, well, obviously I'm living here in Colombia, so I'm favoring Colombia over everywhere else, or else I would be in one of those countries. But I genuinely love different things about different countries. It's almost like you meet someone, everybody has a different personality and different things you like, you hate. So it's not like I have a favorite, it's like, there's generally something I love about all of them. But I guess if I had to choose, I would say Colombia is one. Brazil, I love, especially Rio, for their beach culture. I'm not a huge beach guy myself, but I just love the energy and the activity that surrounds their beach. Like there's not been one place in the world that I've seen that can match Rio's beach culture, which you have people out there till like 2 a.m, out on the beach. Like it's crazy. But like I said, there's little things about everything. Like Peru. I love the fact that Peru they have amazing food. They have the sea in one part. You have the desert in one part. You have the mountains in one part. You have the rainforest in one part. Like Peru has a little bit of everything, like you can take like hour and a half drive. You're in the desert. You can go, jump on a plane and be in the Amazon or in the rainforest. You can go to another part and be essentially like you go to the north of Peru. It's practically like the coast in Colombia. So it's a little bit everything. So I hate to say it. I don't really have a favorite or like a top 3.
I respect the answer, though. I really do respect it because I totally get what you mean. I've been to so many countries myself where I'm like, damn, like I like this about that spot. Like sometimes it gets very difficult to rank them. So I totally respect that. But I did like the fact that you did mention specific countries and the best traits about those countries. I thought that was neat. But I have one final question for you, Passport Graffiti. Okay. Honestly, man, it's very hard to end this interview right now because I think it's been a phenomenal interview, man. But why should men travel? Why should someone travel in the first place overseas? And I'm gonna put you in the big screen.
So overall, I would say why you should travel. If you haven't, obviously, if you are traveling, you already know why you should travel. But if you're someone who hasn't started traveling yet, I would say honestly, man, just start. It's not as scary as you think it is, and yeah, it can be a little bit intimidating to go to somewhere you don't know. Definitely if you're trying to do it as a solo traveler, because it's very different traveling solo than it is as a group. But the main reason is going to be because of the education. Another thing is going to be you're going to start to realize what your worth is as a man. And I always try to use this analogy. If I had, this spray here and one store, this spray is $2. And, maybe I go here to this other vendor, this store is $5. And then maybe in Disneyland, this spray is $10. It's the same spray, but the only thing that changed is the location. So, saying that to say is, once you start going to other places, you'll realize your value, and it can be hard sometime in your home country, whether you're in the States, you're in the UK, maybe Canada, and you're watching this, you may not be as appreciated and, kind of shamed or looked down upon for certain traits that you may have, which in other parts of the world, you may be glorified for that. So aside from, realizing what your worth is, it's just worth it to get out there and see the world and see what it has to offer more than just where you're from or just the US. So Those are would be my main takeaways from just my experience, and would be my message to people why you should get out. Also too, it feels good to be able to be like, hey, you know, I've been to X country or this country. And even if you're just starting off with one, you can say that you've been somewhere aside from where you're from.
That was an awesome explanation, man. I love the spray bottle analogy you made, man. I thought that was pretty dope. So Passport Graffiti, where can people find you on social media?
So my Instagram and my YouTube are the same as Passport Graffiti. My Instagram is with 2 eyes instead of 1. But that's pretty much the main 2 places you can find me right now. Oh, and my TikTok is the same, Passport Graffiti as well.
Yeah, and I'll make sure to tag all your information in the description. Of course, videos, everything, you're going to be tagged, my friend. But Passport Graffiti, thank you so much for coming on, man. I know you're in Medellin, so right now your time's very valuable out there because you could be doing other things, but you decided to come on to my interview, man. So I definitely appreciate that, man. And any last words or anything you want to tell the audience?
Yeah. So, you know, one of the last things that I really want to touch on, and obviously since dating is such a huge topic, I want to leave everybody with this, that a lot of times when you want to come to Medellin or you want to go to other countries, for us as men, obviously we want the most beautiful woman that we can obtain, and that's totally understandable. But, you know, you just have to understand that the most beautiful women are going to come with drama. They're going to come with problems and high expectations. Now, my friend here, he told me this. He was like, there's 2 things. One, you can't fuck them all. So at some point you got to find one and just settle down with one, even if she's not the baddest one, you know, even if she's a 6 or a 7, whatever it may be, you got to find one and just choose one to settle down with, because it can get very easy to just keep continuing the chase. Definitely here in Medellin, because there's an endless supply of beautiful women. But the biggest thing, the takeaway that I want to leave you guys with, is sometimes it's better to find a girl who's a project and build her into what you want her to be, versus you continue going after ones that are pre-assembled, that are already done up, that are, you know, already the 10. Find you one who's a project and just invest in her. I don't necessarily mean money-wise. It could be that, you know, maybe you want to help her get a little bit of surgery or whatever it may be, but build her into the woman you want her to be, versus you continuously chasing the 9s and 10s. And that's it.
Bro, I love that. I really do love that, man. That's not advice that's said enough. I think a lot of brothers on here always say, oh, you got to go after the baddest ones. Like, why fly over there and settle with a 6? Why fly over there and settle with a 7? But the thing is, man, you know, even a 6 or a 7 in Medellin is better than a 6 or a 7 here in the States. That's what people fail to understand, man. You know what I mean? The levels of the quality of the women over there is much different. But I 100% agree with what you said, my friend. But thank you so much, Passport Graffiti, for coming on, man. And that pretty much wraps up the interview, guys. Make sure to like, subscribe, and of course, subscribe to my boy's channel and follow him on TikTok and Instagram. Man, he's dropping some dope ass content. But guys, that's pretty much that, man. Peace out.